The boys are back from Nashville, and what a weekend it was. The outcome on Sunday was not the one we wanted, but Saturday night was at the DraftKings Sports Bar and Social. You guys showed love, showed support. We appreciated every single one of you. So after this, we're going to start it up and kick it up, and we're going to talk everything about what happened this weekend. Shane, start us up.
Turn up your volume. Because you're about to listen to The Sick Podcast. Talking Titans.
Levis towards the end zone. Got a man. Touchdown. Wow. And it's the fourth TD pass of the day in the debut of Will Levis.
The sickest Tennessee Titans podcast. Sick! It's going to be sick.
What's going on, buddy?
I'm still recovering from the weekend. I don't know about you. I mean, you can hear the frog in my throat from screaming my face off from bringing our team on Sunday at Nissan. Yeah. So
I might have not screamed as much as you and Sal, but I definitely smoked 15 times more cigarettes than you guys did because I believe I almost killed a pack. You guys had 0. So shout out my lungs for getting me through the weekend. But my voice is also a little hoarse, and it was a lot of fun though. We'll dive into it, but before we dive into it, let's take a chance to shout out our sponsors where we have not won a bet all weekend. Actually, no.
Speak for yourself.
Yes. Sorry, I apologize. Loser Lombard over here. Victorious Jarett Foot over there. But anyways, TD, Tutty, taking it to the house. Whatever you call a touchdown, they matter more at DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sportsbook partner of the NFL. Ready to place your first NFL bet? Try betting on something simple, like a player to score a touchdown, as long as it's not Treylon Burks. Ready to do a touchdown dance of your own? Score big with DraftKings Sportsbook, the #1 place to bet touchdowns. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app and use the code 6sports. That's code 6sports for new customers to get $250 in bonus bets when you bet just $5. And get 1 month of NFL Plus Premium only on DraftKings. The crown is yours.
Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. In New York, call 877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY 467-369. In Connecticut, help is available for problem gambling. Call 888-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org. Please play responsibly. On behalf of Boot Hill Casino and Resort in Kansas, 21 and over. Age and eligibility varies by jurisdiction. Void in New Hampshire, Oregon, and Ontario. Bonus bets expire 168 hours after issuance. For additional terms and responsible gaming resources, see dkng.co/ftball. NFL Plus Premium offer available only to new and former NFL Plus subscribers. Additional NFL Plus Premium terms at nfl.com/terms.
Nice.
That's a good promo right there. That segues right into our what we did this weekend. Let's just throw up a couple pictures just to talk about what went on for Saturday night, just in case anyone wasn't there. Here's a picture of us and Teron Davenport. What a night it was. Genuine guy. Chill as hell, cool as hell, chopped it up before the show and after the show. There he is on set with us. I mean, that's a fire picture, man.
That's a really good picture.
That's something that's dreamy right there. We're living a sports fan's dream, like I said.
I think we're all almost looking at different cameras.
And I can't believe all of us are even smiling after this picture. This was a picture after the football game after we lost. I mean, high spirits, but you know what? Just being there with you three and the crew all weekend, it's pretty surreal that we actually put that in motion and we got that weekend underway. Finally, it was long overdue, and I had a ton of fun.
Sounds like one of your kids is still crying about the Titans in the background.
Yeah, they are. They're screaming and everything.
What are you going to do, man? Well, I get it, Logan. The Titans, I get it. But no, yeah, it was a phenomenal weekend. A lot of fun. To think that the way we met, me, you, and Sal. I know I met Sal on Twitter. We kept in touch on social media, talked about the Titans as the years went on. And then we met you at the Jets tailgate, I believe, or you two had met before that. And then I met you at the Jets tailgate 3-4 years ago. And then, a few years later, we're doing a live show with Teron Davenport, Titans Insider for ESPN Live at DraftKings Sportsbook. So who would have thunk it? Hopefully there's more big things to come. With that being said, though, that probably was the highlight of the weekend. The show was smooth. The bar was packed. We got a lot more love than I thought we would initially. We ended up going out with some fans of the show after, hanging out at the DraftKings Sports Bar. Then we went to the bar that Bam, who was on our show last week, performed hell of a drummer. Shout out him. And it was just a great weekend, capped off Sunday with not such a great showing. So if there's nothing you want to say more about DraftKings and the pod and whatnot, let's dive into this game a little bit because I don't know how much my voice has left in the night.
Yeah, just like throw out some stats against. Like, how do you think the offensive line paired out? Because I've been seeing everything online now that the numbers are starting to flow out. I wrote down things over here. How do you think the offensive line, just how we were there live, how do you think they played throughout the game?
I think they were good. They weren't great. I think Will Levis is kind of making them look a little worse than they actually might be.
Are you saying? I'm gonna let you finish. But are you saying that because he's holding the ball too long?
Yes, he's holding the ball too long, and he's making poor decisions. Listen, the line needs work, absolutely, but I'm tired of making excuses for the line at times. Because Sunday night when we went out to dinner, we watched the Bears and the Texans, and what were we praising C.J. Stroud for? How quickly he gets the ball out of his hand. You think you said it on the first play of the game. Why can't we do that? It was a quick 5-yard slant, boom, pick it up, manageable 2nd and 5. Like, why can't we do that? That in the long run will help your offensive line because then you're going to run plays a little bit quicker, forcing the defense to play line up quicker, and they're going to get a little tired quicker naturally. But when you're holding onto the ball long like Will Levis is, it almost seems like and we'll get into specific plays, it almost feels like it has to be all or nothing for him.
Yep.
Waits for a play to develop downfield, hold on to the ball and yuck it downfield, or he just holds onto the ball, gets happy feet in the pocket, and, either gets sacked or does something silly again, which we'll talk about. But the offensive line, in my opinion, was not to blame for this loss. They have room to improve. The right side is looking a little worse than I thought it would. But Latham looked better. Skoronski, I guess, looked a little better. But if you look at how they graded out, they're not grading out good because Will Levis is taking hits and getting sacked. But I don't think that's entirely due to the play of the offensive line.
Yeah, so, without you even probably seeing the numbers, I have the numbers here. I'm going to read them out to you, and you probably basically nailed it on the head. J.C. Latham, 0 sacks, 0 hits, 1 pressure allowed. Skoronski, 0 sacks, 0 hits, 2 pressures allowed. Cushenberry, 0 sacks, 0 hits, 1 pressure. Raduns, 1 sack, 0 hits, 4 pressures. And this is where we get to the right-hand side of the line, right? MPF, 1 sack, 1 hit, 9 pressures.
9 pressures.
9 pressures. So that's a total of 17 pressures. 2 hits. 1 hit and 2 sacks from our offensive line this past weekend against the Jets. The right-hand side's a little worrisome now. I wasn't a big fan of Raduns coming into the season at right guard. I like Daniel Brunskill. We brought him over. He was a rotational piece in San Francisco, and I just don't know how he lost that job this offseason. He may have looked bad last year because he had not that much talent around him last year with Brewer and the swing tackles on the right-hand side last year. So he's not to blame for that, I would say. But, just giving the young kid his props, 4 pressures, 1 sack, that's not bad. But MPF, man, that's 2 weeks in a row. It's the pressures. And they're loading up that right-hand side. The Chicago Bears did it. The New York Jets did it now. Bill Callahan, it's the 2nd game now. That there's a lot of pressure going on, and including special teams blunders 2 weeks in a row. So, it's week 2. Let's give them a benefit of the doubt a little bit, but it's a little hot.
It's not special teams. Another thing I wanted to add about MPF, and now today we see on social media that he's joining some show about
Fantasy Life.
I guess good for you, dude. The same way I was like, good for you with Will Levis and the mayonnaise stuff. Get your money, buddy. Like Christopher said, the late, great Christopher Moltisanti, unless they're paying your nut for you, nobody's got the right to tell anybody how to earn a living.
Yep.
I also think that comes with something you have to earn first, an ability to do that. Earn your stripes a little bit before you go off to do things, for your own personal benefit. Worry about the the worry about your team first and their success before you worry about that personal success. Because that's honestly, I hate to say it, a bit of a distraction. You know what I mean? Making commercials and doing this and being part of a fantasy show. If you're balling out and you've been in the league for a while and you've earned your stripes, go for it. But for a team that has to develop, a little bit of cohesiveness, it's not something you want to see often. Is your players in the national spotlight doing things that aren't really football related on the field? Yeah, MPF shows about fantasy sports, but like, bro, we need you to protect Will Levis.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So I don't know. To me, it just kind of rubbed me the wrong way. And at first, I'm a big proponent of, like I said, do what you got to do, make your money. But I feel like you have to earn a little bit of respect on the field before you start doing things like that. Because if you're not focused with what you have to take care of on the field, I mean, it's never really going to come to fruition. So, but as far as special teams, dude, I don't know what needs to change. I hate to say it because it's.
Dude, they sent 4 rushers. We talked about this all day Sunday. They sent 4 rushers and still got home with that punt.
It's sad to say that we need, with how this offense has been the last few years, we need Ryan Stonehouse. So they're going to end up getting this kid hurt. He's going to snap one of his legs again. God forbid. I don't wish that on anybody, but like you can even tell if you rewatch the pump block, he just kind of laid there on his knees for a second and just kind of looked and made like a hand motion, like what the fuck, dude? Like you have one job to protect me. I'm a defenseless player. Protect me for 3 seconds. You know what I mean? Like, so I don't know, dude. If things like this continue a month into the season, which we're almost at, this is week 3 coming up already, something's got to give. There's got to be a fall man of some sort just to shake up things in the locker room. You know what I mean? To let everyone know that, all right, everyone's on notice now. Nobody's safe. Like, I don't give a shit. You know what I mean? Unless you're Calvin Ridley, you know what I mean? Nobody's job is safe.
I like how you said that, and like we're segueing into the next one, because when you're talking about no one's safe, how he yelled at Will Levis when he shovel passed that ball yet again. After we've been saying it, even Teron Davenport said he learned from his mistakes, we think. All of us said it. And he goes out and does it again on Sunday. And how Brian Callahan reacted, the passion that he had sitting here basically saying, you heard it, the camera caught it. What the fuck are you doing? You're taking points off the board for us, whether it's 3 or 7. You're in the red zone. It's a 2-possession game. We were in total control of that game. The crowd was quiet on the Jets' hand side the whole first half just about. Okay. Once he did that shovel pass, sucked air right out of this, and I tweeted it. It sucked right out of the stadium. Did it not? We were sitting there, and all the momentum.
It's like not even like we were screaming and yelling. It almost just felt like everyone in the stadium was looking at each other as if to say, "Get the fuck! There's no way."
Yeah, he did it again.
He did it again.
And how Brian Callahan reacted to that and showed his passion for it. It just shows you that he wants to win, and B, he's going to be on his players tough, because that's what you have to do. Learn from your mistakes. And if he's not doing it, and if he does it again this week, man, I don't want to be on that next podcast.
I mean, listen, I'm beyond frustrated with him. I'm starting to really lean that he's not the guy going forward. Even Sal, who loved him more than me and you ever did from the time we drafted him. You and I were on record saying he's reminiscent of Jake Locker. He's going to try to make too many big plays. He's going to end up getting himself hurt. He plays hero ball. He's, didn't really do all that much in college, had a transfer, and then had subpar numbers at Kentucky. I think they're just still holding on to hope because his arm talent is so good, the way he can pinpoint passes sometimes. But to me, and there's a guy sitting behind me who said, man, we just got to be patient. It's kind of like how it was with Josh Allen. And I turned around and said, it looks like more Carson Wentz than Josh Allen. Because Josh Allen, he made some mistakes in his career. He's still liable to turn the ball over. But he was trying to run around and throw the ball downfield.
Mm-hmm.
Carson Wentz was making stupid mistakes, getting sacked. Remember the game we had to save Elijah Molden had the pick 6 against him when he was getting sacked and had the ball and just tossed it in the air.
Mm-hmm.
Think about if Eli Manning would have done that in the Super Bowl when he was getting sacked. Instead of trying to run out of it and throw the ball downfield, imagine if he just would have tossed it in the air through the lineman. You know what I mean? those are the mistakes that you can't make as a pro because you're not at Kentucky. You're not at USC in the Pac-12, kind of like we saw same mistakes with Caleb Williams. You can't run around and play hero ball. It cost Carson Wentz the starting job, and he will never start again in his career unless, it's due to injury. So the way Will Levis is starting to look is reminding me more. I get the Josh Allen thing. Big guy, likes to make plays with his feet, throw the ball downfield, sure. But he's starting to make mistakes and be a try-hard. Carson Wentz was. And ultimately that was his downfall as a starting quarterback in this league. So I'm losing confidence quick, fast, and in a hurry. I don't like how he said he has to retrain his brain. And I don't want to say I'm right because when he said that, it only proved my point of me saying, I think this is who he is. Yeah. He might be able to curtail it a little bit, $5 word right there. But deep down, I think his whole career will be predicated on him reverting back to what he does best naturally, and that's run around and try to make plays. Bro, you're 25 years old. You've had 12, 13 starts now. What are you retraining your brain? It's almost to the point where we need the verdict on you. Are you it or are you not it? We don't want to have to hear that you have to retrain your brain. We don't want to have to hear that you didn't lose sleep. And that's another thing that pissed me off too. He said he didn't lose sleep. Okay, he's confident he won't make the same mistakes again. And he did it again. What does that show you? I think there's a level of arrogance that is, in him that I think there's a fine line between being the perfect amount of arrogant like we see the greats are, like Brady, like Rodgers and whatnot, and then being too arrogant when you haven't earned it yet. Like, you're trying to rely on your athleticism at this point in your career when it's it has caused your team to lose. You know what I mean? Yeah. And you fail to change, and now you're saying you have to retrain your brain. I don't know, dude. I'm just kind of – it's sad. It's to the point where until he strings together a couple games –
yeah, he lost faith. I mean, it's respectable, dude. We're Titan fans. We've been snake bitten, like we've been talking about. We've been snake bit by the quarterback's position since Steve McNair. I don't care what anybody says. Ryan Tannehill was a little trajectory going up, and then it went flat bottom back down. Yeah, but still, he's the second best quarterback in franchise history, and stats showed it. What we're talking about it on the way to the Opryland Hotel.
What do you think our record would be with him right now?
Listen, I mean, anybody can say anything, but I'm gonna read stats to you later in the show, and it'll prove to you that I think anybody, Mason Rudolph or anybody, would be 2-0 right now with the quarterback. But I had a long ride home from your house on Monday, so I had a lot of thought into this, and what is the decline? Why isn't he progressing? Will Levis showing more strides? I mean, because there are some flashes. Do you think now? The quarterback from one offense to another, new head coach to another head coach, do you think that there could be too much coaching that could possibly hurt him? Or you have to change your footwork here instead of sliding, move your footwork around instead of you being you, because he was a lot of more, I would say, reckless last year, but he got more plays last year than he is doing right now, correct? So, I mean, if he's more focused on bouncing and footwork, he's not stepping up, the hard coaching, just kind of be you a little bit. You can coach the sloppiness a little bit, but sometimes the quarterback's going to revert to that. I'm not talking about throwing the ball, pitching it. I'm just talking about mobility in the pocket and just staying loose. I mean, could it be possibly the fear of him getting his ass kicked last year too with that shit offensive line? He still is hesitant trusting this offensive line with 17 pressures. I mean, I don't know.
I don't know, because if you look at tape, we could show the Treylon picture if you want, Shane. Take your time. The Treylon Burks trying to get the interception. That's the one. So, as you can see, this was a play downfield. It was play action. Treylon, he bombed it across the field to Treylon. Probably could have made this catch, Treylon. But if you guys want to go back and look at that play, I don't think we have the clip for it. Calvin Ridley was wide open in the middle of the field where we could have picked up an easy 40, 50 yards because he had no one in front of him. So I'm not really even buying it that we're trying to coach him too much because there's plays to be made. And it almost seems like, one, it's either boom or bust with him. He has to take a shot downfield or check it down. And if his first read, like we noticed it early on, he locks onto that first read.
Yep.
He kind of gets excited. So Treylon might have been his first read, like, okay, I'm going to hit this guy down the field instead of saying, okay, let me go through my progressions. Let me work on the outside in. If Treylon's not there, let me see. You know what I mean? You could see he had two guys on him. He's not there. Go to your second read. You know what I mean? But he wants to rely on what he was always be able to get away with, and that was his arm strength. And he figured, fuck it, I'm going to yuck it downfield. And sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. But you need sometimes for an even young player like him, just to get confidence, complete passes, take what the defense gives you.
Yep.
There's nothing wrong with that. You know what I mean? I say it all the time, and I think it's honestly, I don't think people really get it when you think of it big picture wise. I think it's starting to hit home, hopefully, with a lot of listeners here. Sal even said it Sunday. Vin, you're right. The only stat that matters is turnovers. Mm-hmm. We have how many turnovers through 2 games? 5, 6?
Yep.
What's our record? 0-2. Mm-hmm. So you take care of the ball. You don't have to put up gaudy numbers. That's why Malik Willis was 12 of 14 for 120 yards and a touchdown. Yes, 12 of 14 is impressive, but they kept it simple for him. Yep. He didn't turn the ball over. So you don't need to put up insane stats to win sometimes. Sometimes you got to play football and take what the defense gives you and not turn the ball over, especially
in the red zone.
In the red zone, and especially with the defense of this caliber. If you don't turn the ball over, which we'll get to them next because they haven't caused any turnovers either, but we're still grading out as a top 3 defense in the league right now. So we should be at least 1-1, probably 2-0. And it's elementary type things. We were all off season. I'll say it again. Offensive genius, Brian Callahan. Hall of Fame coach, Bill Callahan on the offensive line. Denard Wilson, obviously he's been doing his job. But the special teams guy we brought in, where is all this phenomenal coaching that we heard about all off season? When we're making mistakes, you coach football before, Jarett. What do you teach your team? Ball security. You know what I mean? No stupid penalties. Don't, that's how you lose. Because what do I always say? The difference between 5-12 and 12-5 is this much. Yep. And that much in there is the turnovers and the stupid penalties. Yep. And stupid boneheaded plays.
I'm glad you brought up the whole, Treylon Burks thing. In that progression, like you said, it's always the phrase in football. It's top down. Okay. Yeah. Treylon Burks was the crosser. At the time. I mean, the deep post shot. To me, if he had the safety over the top and you see the cornerback trailing, that.
Yeah,
that he's going that way.
Yep.
Take that progression down. Calvin Ridley was wide open on the cross. Take it, okay? Because he can get the yak, and that corner is pushed back. Calvin Ridley's free. He can at least get 12 to 15 yards after the catch. Maybe he scored. Who knows? Give him the opportunity to run with the ball. Second is another thing. You were up at the top. Sitting next to Sammy, and then me and Sal, when Calvin Ridley scored that touchdown, that deep shot.
Yeah.
Right. Another one. Not many people may think about it. I watched the field, and some people do probably too. I was watching it live because it was happening right in front of us. It was that end zone right in front of us. When he threw that ball, I said, "Oh shit!" DeAndre Hopkins was wide open again on a crosser. What, Vin? Within 10 yards, wide open on a crosser. He threw that. Thank God, Calvin Ridley is Calvin Ridley, and that's why we paid the man $100 million. How'd you do it? 1-0-0 the other day.
So we paid him $100 million.
Yeah, $100 million. I mean, thank God, he's that caliber player. But DeAndre Hopkins was literally wide open. And if you go back, you'll see it. He puts his hands in the air and drops them. Like, dude, what the hell? While the ball was in the air, wide open. Okay, So just another thing. Go back to that picture of Treylon Burks trying to catch that ball. Okay, you want to talk about being a football coach and everything? Vin, just analyze this picture over here. You got a safety over top. You got the corner down below. Treylon Burks is trying to catch the ball with his body. How about being 6'3" and 220 pounds or whatever the hell you are? High point the ball and catch the ball with your hands. The only reason why this is an interception because he did not high point the ball. I wish we could circle here, and he tried catching the ball with the body, and he got bodied by the cornerback for the interception. So I mean, that does not help.
Looks like his eyes are closed too, almost.
Yeah, I mean, whatever the case may be. I mean, you have to be able to high point that. You're a third-year pro now, or a fourth year, whatever the hell you are. You got to be able to get up there and high point the ball for your quarterback. Second is what we talked about with Brian Callahan. Some things are starting to confuse me a little bit with the play calling, or even I'm going to get to the one in the end zone. But before you throw up a graphic, Shane, the last play of the game. I turned to all you guys and I said there was 3 wide receivers on the last play of the game, 3 wide receivers in the same spot. How does that help your quarterback throw to one of them? Okay. There's literally 6 people in that vicinity. So who was he throwing the ball to? That's the last play. On that same drive. Now, we were running the ball down their throat, were we not?
Yeah.
What? Even last night with the Eagles and the Falcons. Yeah. They're running the ball down each other's throat. All of a sudden they get to the 10-yard line. They want to start throwing the ball. For what reason? Stick to what got you there. Okay. Yeah. Run Tony Ballard down your throat. Try to get at least to the 5-yard line. Stop throwing the ball from the 10-yard line when you haven't done it all game.
After Will Levis broke off that run, I don't want to cut you off because I know what you want to talk about, but after Will Levis broke off that run, are you not calling a QB draw the next play where it's
that or run the ball too?
It's a read option. Let him hold it because at this point, I don't give a shit if he gets hurt or not. To be honest, let him run the ball. He loves to run the ball. Fuck it, let's let him run it. Because you know as well as I, if he would have kept it on the next play and scored, that place would have erupted.
Oh yeah,
that's how hyped we were after that crazy run he made. But I know I'm sorry to interrupt, but get to what you wanted to talk about.
Well, besides even that, like we were running left the whole game, and we were getting positive yards. Yeah. Just stick with it, man. Stick with it. And another thing, Shane, throw up this graphic. We're talking about wide receivers in the same spot. This was on the same drive. Okay, look at how many people. Vin, count how many Titans are in that vicinity and how many Jets. This is on the. This wasn't even the same play I was talking about. This is another play. That's 3 Titans. It looks like they're doing a 5-yard out, a 10-yard out, and a 15-yard out. And you got 3 Jets there. Where's the quarterback throwing the ball here? Okay, where's the route tree? Where's the creativity? You have 3 wide receivers in the same spot. This right here is not helping your quarterback. Okay.
What we wanted to talk about too is DeAndre. I'm not one to blame the refs, but
of course he was getting held. Yes,
big time. Yes,
but still, this is sloppy football in my opinion. It doesn't come from the wide receivers. They're just being told what to do, how the play is called. This is just, I don't know if someone cut the route short, cut it too long. I mean, but still, it's unacceptable football that you have 3 wide receivers in the same spot. Just does not help your quarterback at all. So, I mean, that is partially to blame a little bit. So, I mean, I kind of really, listen, I want to put all the blame on Will Levis, especially with the turnovers. So he's getting it. But you know what? Looking at it and deep diving into it with the 17 pressures now, does he trust the offensive line? I'm not making excuses for Will Levis, so don't get it twisted at all. Okay? He's got the 17 pressures, the 3 wide receivers in the same spot on the last possession, and 3 wide receivers again in the same position at like second or first and goal. That was okay. I mean, they're not helping his situation. They have to be able to.
It's bad football all around.
Yeah,
and that's why they're 0-2, and that's why people are legitimately laughing at us.
Yeah.
Legitimately laughing at us.
Yeah. So I mean, you touched. We're gonna get on the defense real quick. I just wanted to bring numbers to you again because it's Tuesday. Will Levis threw 11 games now. I'm sorry. I was the one that said he had 12. This was his 12th game on Sunday. I was wrong. It's his 11th start in the NFL. He's got a completion percentage record of 59.4%. His record now is 3-8. He has in 11 games, he has 2,100 yards and he has 10 touchdowns and 7 interceptions. That doesn't scream gaudy to you at all.
No,
okay?
I mean, it doesn't. Listen. I want to see him for a full 16 season. We're breaking up last season and this season where it's 2 different teams entirely almost. You know, it's not gaudy stats. It's not the worst stats either. But it just feels like it's it's like somebody that, you work with and you feel like they have so much more potential and you just want to pull it out of them, but you can't actually do it unless they change first.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And until he decides to change that potential, we can't pull out of him. And, that's why we hired this coach who, is supposed to be an offensive guy. And, listen, like you said, there's got to be some blame on the coaching side as well. So, listen, he's a first-year head coach. We expect, bumps in the road. But Sunday was just a prime opportunity to get back on track, get the sour taste out of our mouth after last week, especially when we have a big opportunity coming up with probably playing 2 backup quarterbacks the next 2 weeks. Now we have to win both. And get out of September at 2-2 if we want to even sniff maybe a playoff spot. We get out of September at 1-3. Look at that schedule in the middle at the end of the season, fellas. It is not easy. Yep. So Sunday we should be really 2-0 right now with the opportunity to be 3-0 on Sunday. But like I always say, the difference between those teams is this much. And we've been on the wrong side of it so far, all to our, and we have no one to blame but ourselves.
Absolutely not. And just this alone, the team stats alone, this is just made me throw up when you really think about it. The overall offense, we're tied for 24th, pass 27th, run 13th, and points per game at 24. What you guessed it, 17 points per game. The defense, first overall in pass, 10th overall in the run, and tied for 23rd with points per game, which we're letting up 24 points per game. Right there, first, and 10th, and we're 0-2 with a defensive performance like that through 2 weeks. Yes, we haven't had turnovers, but you're first against the pass. Virtually no one, we're letting up 200 yards, 204 to be exact, per game, per passer. I mean, it's Aaron Rodgers and Caleb Williams. We're getting after the quarterback, and we're not creating turnovers. That right there, that defense, we should be 2-0 with any other quarterback. I don't care. So he needs to step in. So he needs to step up. Brian Callahan needs to step up and stop doing the wide receivers bunched up in the same spots. And something needs to give these next couple of weeks going into October.
But I think they're intent on riding it out with him to see what he can do over the season. Because I agree with what Sal was saying. We can't go with Mason Rudolph and go 7-10, 8-9. You know what I mean? And pick in the middle of the first round. If we're gonna be bad, let this kid fall on his face so we could pick top 5 and just try again. But the reason why I'm saying it like that is because it's frustrating because these games, it's not like we're being outplayed. We're not.
We wasted the defense.
We are giving games away, and it just frustrates me because it feels like if you put like a Matt Stafford on this team, you know what I mean?
Don't get me started, please.
Yeah, I mean it's to the point where like, yeah, we could be awful and pick high, or maybe we can make a few phone calls to see what some veteran. I mean, listen, it's got to be very hard to pick up an offense as a quarterback in the middle of a season, but like that's how good this defense is.
Man, fuck them picks.
Yeah, seriously. It's just even more frustrating when your defense is that good. If it was bad, I'd be like, all right, dude, we suck. We have more than one hole, all over, the roster. Let's be bad and get those picks and, hopefully it works out. But our defense is legit the best in the league after 2 weeks. And we've given games away, like legitimately handed games away. Tossed games away, I'm sorry. Yeah. Tossed it, pitched it, all kinds of shit we're doing to give games away. So, yeah, I don't know, man. We'll see.
Speaking of defense, I know you wanted to get onto it, so I'm going to talk a little bit, and obviously you're going to touch on what you want to touch on too. There's a couple players I want to call out because some are good and some are bad. Kenneth Murray, he graded 27th, I think, per PFF this past weekend. He was absolutely terrible. He made one play, I believe. I think it was a wow. He stuffed a run and just got torched in the pass game. 73 of 176 yards of Aaron Rodgers came from Kenneth Murray. He got torched on that touchdown run where Hall was calling for the ball for the fade. If you had a linebacker on him, got torched. I mean, it's totally unacceptable. I mean, he shows flashes, But then in the run, I mean, in the pass, it's just not there. You're playing fast and physical, but you got to be able to cover a running back, with your size and speed out of the backfield. And it wasn't there for him. 73 yards is unacceptable. Another one, Ernest Jones. My God, this guy is a beast, and we need to sign him. 9 tackles, 2 tackles for a loss, 5 run stops. When him and Jeffrey Simmons, when they made that 1 third down stop and they got into the backfield, I said, oh, my God, this guy is an absolute bull. So glad we got him because Jack Gibbons is not making that play. Other things that were kill drives. We've seen while we were sitting watching the Texans and Bears, watching the highlights of the Titans game. There's 2 plays that really killed this. I know you and Sal were talking about Cheeto letting up that Mike Williams 3rd and 1, I believe it was.
Yeah.
The 3rd and 1 with the catch, the tiptoe on the sidelines, and that was the game. Yeah, of course that was the game. But there was a 3rd and 6, and that was on Cheeto. There was a 3rd and 6 on that same drive. The drive before that, right? Before they got that first down. It was 3rd and 6. Garrett Wilson was on our best cornerback, L'Jarius Sneed. He readjusted for a ball and caught it back shoulder on our best cornerback on a 3rd and 6. You're paying top dollar. You're saying that, you played like shit after week 1. You let up 2 receptions for 18 yards. On that moment, tie ball game with the game on the line. It's 3rd and 6. You got to come up and break up that pass. I'm sorry, we're paying all this money for you. Garrett Wilson shouldn't be able to beat you, and especially if you're pressing him off the line of scrimmage, he should not be beating you.
I don't disagree, but I also think Vogel brought it up when we had him on at DraftKings. These plays that are happening at the end of the game are because your defense is wearing down. It's just they can't carry the load the whole game because guess what? As good as L'Jarius Sneed is and Cheeto Awuzie is, they're human beings too, and they're going to get beat on some plays, but they're doing their fair share to help us win these games. So, yeah, I get it. You got to make plays at certain times, but at the end of the game, they're not perfect. At the end of the game, they're worn down from carrying their team. And that's when plays start to happen. So
it is the tale of the 2 halves. I mean, they weren't really on the field in the first half because we really controlled momentum and the clock the first half. I mean, just look at the time possession. I mean, the game all the way down. The team stats are almost identical, 30 minutes just about. But like I said, we controlled. You're right. We controlled more of the first half versus the second half. Second half, I think at one point we had 5 possessions and 4 3-and-outs. Yeah. At one point. So, I mean, yes, the second half, you are correct.
Man. Their defense is wearing, and it's very frustrating because we don't have to put up many points to win games, but we're just not doing it. It's just like we can't get past that 17-point threshold, and big opportunity this week. And if it wasn't do or die then, it really is now. So we'll see. We'll see.
That's why I wore the Victory Monday sweatshirt. Don't think like, oh, what the hell's Jarett doing? It's not Victory Monday. No, I'm trying to change the vibe. I'm trying to change it for our sponsor. We have Homage. I'm trying to change for next week a Victory Monday. We want to wear it so the whole Titan Nation can get a little sigh of relief now, and we try to move forward. So we're not sweating anymore like you were sweating while you were sucking down those Nashville hot wings on Sunday. Yeah, you were sweating though.
Yeah, I was sweating, but let's be careful of the verbiage. I wasn't sucking down anything.
Chomping them down.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, with this new room here, I don't need people getting the wrong impression with certain things we say here. This is my daughter's room, by the way. It's beautiful. My wife did a great job decorating while I was gone. Shout out my wife.
It was very comfortable there on Friday night.
Yes. What's the only stat that matters? That's right. And we have to stop turning the ball over. And with that being said, I got nothing left to say about this game at least. Well, Thursday, I'm traveling the world again. I don't know if I'll be on. You and Jarett will be talking about.
Me and Sal? I am Jarett.
Oh, Jesus Christ. I think, you know what? I think you're wearing that Victory Monday shirt because you're still drunk from this weekend. And I just said that because I'm still drunk, which means it's time for both of us to go to bed.
Yes. Okay?
So you and I almost said it again, dude. You and Sal can talk about Malik Willis and the Green Bay Packers because I know there's going to be some sound bites with him screaming. If we lose to him, the sky will be falling, and it's
falling. Yes.
Sal will be pulling it down.
He said he's going to be intolerable on this app if they go 0-3 and lose to Malik Willis.
Well, listen, sometimes we rag on him for being intolerable with certain takes, but he'd be more than in the right if we lose to Malik Willis and the Green Bay Packers at home on Sunday. So.
I mean, you said it best, man. We appreciate everybody that came out on Saturday night. Shout out Haley, RJ, Chris, Taylor from California gang over there, and Morocco was out there.
Yep.
There was a lot of people. Mr. Titan showed up on Saturday night as well. So, I mean, we didn't make it to his event because we flew in. But we appreciate every single person that came out.
Scoob on Sunday.
Yes. Titan Rossi showed up too with us. He couldn't make it out. He had a little obligations on Saturday night, which was respectful. But we finally met in person, so that was awesome.
It was nice to meet a lot of the fans of the show, because without them, it's all for nothing. And hopefully we keep growing, and we'll see what happens next week.
Yes, we appreciate every single one of you guys, and just please remember, give us a like on YouTube, subscribe, hit the bell, follow us on Instagram, the Sick Podcast Titans, and also on X, Sick Pod Titans, and you can get all of our podcasts on every single podcast platform. So. We really do appreciate the love and support and what you guys showed on Saturday night. I think at one point there was 1,600 people watching live, which is absolutely incredible. I mean, Tehran and us, we really showed out Saturday night, and I'm proud to be a part of it. I'm proud to be a part of the Sick team with you guys, and just I'm proud to see and excited to see how far we can go with this season, because right now, I mean, everything is positive.
We're having more success than the Titans right now. It's a sad world when that's the case, Yeah.
So, I mean, that's going to do it for tonight's show, guys. Vinny's on vacation. Another one. He's buying a private jet on Thursday.
Yeah, I leave Thursday to go to an undisclosed location because I don't want any of you crazies following me down there.
Yeah, that's it. So it's going to be me and Sal for our next show. We're going to have Sick picks. We're going to have our picks as well. Vinny will have his picks. We'll squeeze it out of him before he leaves for vacation. So, I mean, that's a wrap, guys. We appreciate you guys again. So, Shane, you know the deal. Send us out. Tighten up.
And that's a wrap. Hope you don't miss us too much until next time. Follow the Sick Podcast Talking Titans on YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, Google Play, and Apple Podcasts.